Welcome back to Primetime Footy. Wow, 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 wow. What a game week. What a
Insane.
game week. Talk about heartbreak. Guess what they do? Guess what they do? Guys, introduce yourselves, please.
What's going on, y'all? Serge here. Another game week. Points being dropped by those in North London. It is what it is. Not surprised.
What a disappointment. Hello, everybody. Coach Dane in the house. I have money down for Arsenal. I keep telling my friends, like, Arsenal's going to win it. Arsenal's going to go all the way. But they keep laughing at me, and Arsenal is not helping my case. And if the things continue this way, we might see this again. I'm holding the water bottle, by the way.
Bro, I can't even tell you how many people have hit me up this week. My cousin, who I haven't talked to for about a year, said, yo, bro, what happened this weekend? I'm like, dog.
It's like there's a
Last
death in the family, bro.
Dog, what
Literally.
happened? You tell me, bro.
You good?
It's
You good?
crazy. Yo, it's rough times out here. That Arsenal racism tax is crazy. It's something to be admired, honestly. They love us because they ain't us. You know what it is.
That's it. That's it. That's what you guys
That's it,
think
baby.
about.
It has to be. That's the only way you're gonna sleep at night, bro.
Ooh,
Bro, you're not lying, bro. You're not lying. You're not
starting
lying.
good. We're starting fresh. Let's go.
Footy fam, yo, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you. Serge is excited to be here. Daniel's excited to be here. And we have a crazy review of game week 23. We have to start off light. We're going to talk about West Ham versus Sunderland, guys. Can they do it? Can they get out of there? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, West Ham right now, I think they're 5 points out of that relegation spot. I think Forest right now is about 5 points away. So yo, Nuno Espiritu Santo, bro. My boy is trying to come through, see if he can knock down his old team back into that relegation spot. West Ham is just doing what they need to do in order to get out of that relegation zone. Tati Martinez, I think, got the start on this game. Top, he had a few shots on goal. You know, just trying to mesh new league, new team. So we'll see.
Dan, a couple of weeks ago, you told me that Nuno was going to get the Maduro treatment. My boy is still sitting comfortably at Nottingham, just chilling. I don't see a Nike tracksuit. That's all I'm saying.
No, yeah, Nuno showing why he should be the man in charge of West Ham at the moment and why he can lead them to the salvation, to the promised land, away from relegation. 2 wins the last 2 games. When I saw the fixture against Sunderland, you know, I thought, like, easy game, Sunderland got this. But as soon as I saw the lineup, one key man was missing, which is Xhaka. And looking at the fixtures ahead, Xhaka is going to be out for 1 month. So
No way.
we're talking about a very, very important player for a Sunderland team that it's not an average team without him, because he's the captain, he's the leader, he's the one who pulled the strings in the midfield. I think we will see a decline in Sunderland in the next few games. And West Ham, hey, if they keep going, they might start putting some pressure on Tottenham, even Leeds, and the relegation battle will become much, much more exciting.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive to see the impact that Granit Xhaka has on the team. And I think if you look back at his time at Arsenal, we saw that in him.
Wow.
The beginning, it was rocky, right? There was a rocky relationship where he was throwing up the armband. He was over here doing his little drama. But by the end of his time at Arsenal, you saw the quality in the man. And that's a lot of the things that we thought we were buying to begin with. And now you fast forward to the Sunderland team. Through his mentality, through his work ethic, he's propelled them to this higher position. I think without Granit Xhaka, they would even be facing a relegation battle if they didn't have him throughout the whole season.
Yeah, and he still made a little cameo during the game. I was watching that game for a bit. He was like going back and forth to the fans, like behind him. He was bantering with some fan in the
I
stand.
saw that.
Yeah, I was like, what the
I
hell?
saw that. Yo,
Is he?
that's what you get with Xhaka. He doesn't mess about. He doesn't mess about. He'll be out there giving it his all no matter where he is, you know? I think one player I want to highlight who I've seen has created such a big momentum for West Ham is Somerville. Somerville, I feel like within the last couple of weeks has really stepped up his game. And I think he's almost lightening that burden on Bowen. Bowen has always been that guy, that go-to guy. Having Somerville lighten some of that load, I think will help Bowen get back to his best form. Because sometimes in football, as a professional or as anybody, sometimes you just need a moment to rest and take a step back and breathe and go again. So kudos to Somerville for helping West Ham change their season around. But let's see. The Maduro treatment is still up in the air. We're going to see. Daniel, looks like you're wearing that tracksuit. They didn't get you, coach?
Not yet, not yet. You know, it's getting cold over here. We got hit pretty bad, you know. Yorkers got hit, Arsenal got hit. So
Oh,
it's gonna be ready.
dude, Blizzard, Arsenal lost in fantasy. What a
Yo,
weekend!
What
What
a
a
just
weekend!
weekend.
catching fades, bro, everywhere,
Ta
left and
ta
right,
ta.
bro.
Life said,
It's
"Yo,
gonna
you
be like
you
that
wanted
all
to,
episode. This whole episode, bro, just straight
brutal, bro,
shots, bro.
Right,
brutal,
boy.
brutal. All I wanted to do was have a good week. Look at me now. Look at me now. I should have never laughed at those Madrid fans. What it is.
Karma.
But one team who always gives me a good moment to laugh about, Tottenham. Tottenham. What are we doing? Burnley? They just gave Burnley points? Yo, coach, give the people a little bit of what happened during that game.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, you look at lineups, you look at the team sheets, you think, oh, Tottenham has this great defensive lineup. Solanke's back up top. You know, they can easily manage this game and come back up top. But, you know, Tottenham, once again, drop the bag. Thomas, the choo-choo. Frank, the train is not working. I think the train might need a new conductor soon. But yeah, Burnley came out to attack. They got, you know, those goals by the nice position by the players. Swansea, the another center back scoring the 86th minute, and Foster gave the lead, the 2-1 lead in the 76th minute. And now Luca Romero, El Cuti, it's saving Christian Romero, El Cuti, saving Thomas's job because now he has 3 goals in the last 3 games. He's a true captain. I wish Madrid could get him. You know, he's only 27 years old. He has like 5-6 years ahead of him. So I hope Madrid gets him. He'll be perfect. He's a newest, kind of like a Sergio Ramos vibes. Last minute goals, great captain, a little dirt here and there. You know, you need it in football. But yeah, the fans were happy. The Tottenham fans were happy that they got a nice equalizer at the end. But you know, the image, the display on the field, it's just really, really bad, and it shows a bad run right now for Tottenham, who low key could be fighting for relegation. They haven't won the last 5 games.
Stop the cap,
Bro, the Spurs are they've only won 1 game in the last 7 games, all competitions.
Where are all these guys on the table?
So I have no idea how Thomas is still a head coach. Supposedly they might be looking into maybe going in a different direction, but it's kind of crazy how Tottenham has just fallen down that table.
I do think they're safe from relegation. I will say, given the investment that Thomas has seen, I do think that he is in murky waters. I don't know if he's gonna last much longer. I totally agree with you, coach. I mean, I think we've said that for the last couple of weeks. You know, Thomas, he's not getting this team to gel at all, and he's got no guy that he can rely on. You know, at least with Ange, 1, they got a trophy. 2, they played more attacking football. They played ball that you could at least be like, all right, we're gonna get goals here. That's not what you're seeing with Thomas, and I think he's teetering on the edge. You know, I think the train has run its course and it's about to be derailed completely. So you know, bless his soul. Hopefully he gets to see another couple of weeks, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Serge, what do you think?
There's some rumors saying that the directors actually just want to keep him. They want to see him out until the summer. I don't think he's gonna make it to the summer. I mean, he just did get a player that he wanted in Gallagher, so he did start this game. But even then, that's a reinforcement. He's more of a worker. He's more of a horse in that midfield. He's not gonna give you goals. He's just gonna be there defensively for you. But I don't think that's what Tottenham needs right now. I think Tottenham needs goals, and the only goals they're getting is from their defense. So Solanke's back, so let's see what happens. Richarlison's out. You know, they're missing a lot of attacking pieces, and I don't know if that was the right call in terms of bringing somebody in, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely some worrying times for Tottenham, for the board. I think they've invested a lot of money, and time will tell how Thomas is going to do. I personally, you know, in my head, keep him for life. You know, I think I think he deserves a chance. You know, in life, you deserve it a second chances, a third chance, a fourth chance. We all need chances, chances, guys. You know what it is.
Arteta's on his 7th chance?
Bro, we're on phase 38. I feel like, and you know,
I'm gonna keep a tally every time,
bro. Yeah.
Every time.
How many times they bring up?
You gotta hit him with a bob and weave, bro. Bob and weave.
It's crazy, bro. I'm just trying to dodge all these shots, bro. It's not a joke out here. It's cold outside. It's cold, bro. And there ain't no Palmer around either. So I'm confused. What's going on here?
Oh shit! What were you telling?
Listen. So let's talk about a team who is definitely firing for sure. At least in the Premier League. I mean, maybe they're stumbling to firing. Man City versus Wolves. I think last week we spoke about, hey, there might be a chance for a potential blimp here, because we saw Man City's frailties in defense. There's a lot of little things going on there where maybe it's not clicking and it's new. So maybe there's a chance to put a little pressure on those little points in the defense. But Coach Daniel, I mean, once that game opened up, did you expect anything different but a City win?
No, even beforehand, just looking at the lineup, you could tell Pep decided to rest some key players for this game because he considered, Wolves a very weak opponent. Plus, they were home. Haaland didn't start. He moved some pieces around. What was the last name again? Wig?
Gahey, bro. Gahey.
Oh, I gotta think. Gay. Okay, Gahey. Mark Gahey. He started the game. He did really well. Actually, he did really, really well. You could see the difference in the backline with him as not the captain, but as a leader, and that's someone who they definitely need it. Alan, something is going on with him. I feel like every season around this time, January, February, he's like he needs to recharge. He needs to be put in that chamber that Goku was put on, in that with a mask on. He's like
the hyperbolic time chamber.
Exactly.
No, that's not the hyperbolic.
No. You know what I'm talking about? The machine.
Yeah, the
rest. January, February, and then boom, late February, he wakes up. Perfect timing for the Carabao, Champions League, the last games of the Premier League as well. So I feel like that's what's going on with Haaland, and our boy Oscar is also suffering from that on Fantasy League. But they have key players that they can rely on, like Semenyo, Turkey. Amadouche is back from the African Cup. So it was an easy game. They moved the ball around. They played their style, and let's see how much farther they can go because it's their first win after like four games without catching the win, and you would think now the title will be over, but because Arsenal keeps drinking lots of water bottles, they're still only 4 points behind now.
Dude, all I can do is stay hydrated, bro.
You got it right there, boy. You got it right there.
Keep drinking, bro. Keep drinking.
That's all I can do. Yeah, Serge. Daniel, por favor. Serge, talk to us a little bit about the game. What was your overall opinion? Every game now seems like critical to the title race. Was there ever any doubt for you that Man City was going to drop points or pick up, or Wolves were going to pick up points?
Well, there's always that doubt. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the Prem. I think every game, just like everyone always expresses that every game is competitive. You never know what the outcome of any game could be. And we've had a lot of those surprises this season too. But I don't think that there was a coincidence with Gahey starting with Man City getting that clean sheet. I think Gahey definitely provides that stability in the back. I think once Diaz comes back from injury, I think that's really going to propel City to kind of make that last charge for the title. And I've been saying it, bro. City's still going to win this title. It's City's title to win. And I think with all these extra pieces, I think they're really going to go far and they're really going to be creeping and ultimately win the league. Marmoush coming back, a lot of people were saying that Marmoush was discarded. They're saying, yo, Marmoush, now that Semenyo's here, Marmoush is going to be loaned, sold to someone. And he came in and he shut pretty much everybody up, man. He's still a finisher. We saw that with that goal that he made. He anticipated that center back from Wolves. It was a really nice goal. He should have got that penalty call with that handball from Mosquera. But, he looked good. He doesn't look like he's missed a beat. And it's really interesting now that Pep has all of these pieces. He has Doku that he could bring on. He has Semenyo that still scoring goals. Haaland, he still has to find his feet. But I think there's 16, 15 games left in the league. And I think Pep has all the pieces that he needs for that last push for the title.
Going forward, it's going to be very critical for City to get all those pieces back on the board so they can actually mount a title challenge. If they don't get those pieces up, they're going to struggle no matter what. They're firing on all fronts. They're in different competitions, and they need that full team. It's really nice when you could go into the market and just buy all the top players of the surrounding teams. I mean, what a luxury to have. I think Pep has been one of the only managers in the world historically to be To do that in La Liga, to do that in the Bundesliga, to do that in the Premier League, that's a luxury to have. I mean, I think he warrants it. I think he showed his credibility, but wow, what a luxury to have, honestly.
Yeah. You still have John Stones, Diaz, Nico Gonzalez. They're all supposed to be coming back in February, so it'll be a perfect time to see that push.
Just in time for the business end of the season. Coach Daniel, I want to ask you about a team who, if you look back at the beginning of the season, they were propelled to be the quadruple winners because of all their signings that they had made between Isaac, Ekitike. What do you think? Liverpool versus Bournemouth, guys. What did we see there? What did we see there from?
First of all, no, they weren't, because I've said it from day one. No depth, no depth, no depth. You can't win shit in the Premier League, La Liga. I mean, Carabao Cup. Well, La Liga, Serie A, any league in the world. If you have no depth and if you don't have structure, yeah, they can sign up like the best 5 strikers, wingers in the world. But if you don't have a good defense, the shit's gonna hit a fan eventually, and that's what's happening with Liverpool. The almighty Virgil van Dijk is, starting to look like me when he plays soccer during the indoor leagues.
No knees?
No knees, no ACL, no MCL, no nada. My dude can't judge the balls coming from the air anymore. His speed is like betraying him. Yeah, the age is catching up to Virgil van Dijk, but I don't want to blame it on him. It's a whole team effort, and like he has been playing like almost like every game this season. So at some point, especially now that all these games are back to back to back, he needs to freshen up. He needs to go to Hamburg's chamber.
He scored in the 45th minute. I mean, what else is he supposed to do?
Defend.
I mean, well, but I'm telling you, he's been given all the tools. They gave him a Frimpong, they gave him a Caracas. He still has Robertson on the bench. There's rumors of him moving, but he's still there. I mean, at the end of the day, come on.
And then you look at Mo Salah. He's trying to adapt to the new system, because you can see that they were playing like a 4-2-2-2, giving Frimpong essentially the freedom to go up and down the right hand side of the wing. But it's gonna take time for the players to adapt. Again, the 7-game streak that Liverpool didn't lose a single game. Everyone said it was kind of fake, because like even though they didn't lose a game, way they played it wasn't really well. Some lucky results, and now it showed how bad they really are doing. If it wasn't for Szoboszlai, Liverpool would be like 10th, 11th right now on the table. That guy is he's literally carrying the team. Szoboszlai, it's a Ferrari in a Toyota parking lot right now.
Bro, I can't believe you said that with Mo Salah on that team, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like, don't be disrespectful, bro.
Salah's chilling. Salah got the bag. Salah got the money. He said,
I think Salah's like
let me go to
Salah's like a Rolls Royce. He's aging with time, bro. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, Salah's a Rolls Royce whenever he wants to run, though.
Let's take a step back, right? Because Liverpool, obviously, they're a good team. With Bournemouth, you always know that they're going to come with a good organized plan. Yeah. And I think that's what that manager has brought to the table. And consistently, we've seen, especially during big games, that he's going to put up a fight. You really saw that they're willing to go to the depth just to get a result. And I think that's huge from a team like that.
Yeah, that's what Danny was asking me about Bournemouth. I think we do have to give Bournemouth credit too, because Bournemouth is one of those teams that they never say die. They're always going to come at you, but it's also in part of the coach, Iraloa is his name? Coming from La Liga, from Rayo Vallecano, I think. He's completely changed that. Also, the investment that they've made in that team has been great. Recruitment too. Losing Semenyo, losing a lot of key players. Like Daniel said last week, like Pokemon cards. You catch them while they're hot. They've lost a lot of their players, bro, but they are still fighting, and they will go up against the creme of the creme. It doesn't matter who the team is, they always fight. And there was a lot of talking points of that game, but I do think that Van Dijk was a huge part of. He's kind of like the bar. He's the one who sets the bar, and when he's making mistakes like that, because I think he is in part the cause of both goals. The first obviously was the mistiming, and then the second goal, he left the player onside. He was completely in no man's land. He wasn't looking at the line. He left his man onside, and they scored that second goal. Liverpool needs to figure out what they're gonna do if they're gonna keep slaughtering that, but it's a whole lot of question marks on their end right now. But kudos to the Cherries. They're doing what they got to do.
Speaking of the Pokemon cards, what about that Crystal Palace versus Chelsea game? Last week, we looked at that record and we saw what that record looked like. It didn't look too pretty for Chelsea. Depending on how you wanted to spin the narrative, you could have been like, oh, Chelsea was unbeaten against Crystal Palace in the last how many so games. But when you read deep into that, you know, they never do well against Crystal Palace. It is a London derby, so it wasn't going to be the easiest game for them on paper. But then we saw what the effects was of all those players just getting plucked. It's incredible. I mean, Dan, let's start with you just so we could finish with Serge, Serge's final summary. But what did you think of the game?
Exactly like we talked about last week. Yeah, on paper, if you look at the results, it was never an easy game for Chelsea to go play there away. But like I said last week, when you take away key players from there, even the morale goes down, the technique, then the level of play, everything. And Chelsea took advantage of that. New manager, him and his Legos are coming in and trying to do different things. About looking amazing once again, on the right wing with a goal and an assist. Joao Pedro doing his thing, is giving Chelsea the lead. Giving Chelsea the goal, giving me fantasy points on the fantasy table. So it's a great game. Andes Enzo playing like a number 10. Ice Cold Palmer, I don't know physically what's going on with him this season. I think he's a little too cold lately, and he needs to heat up those legs and come back a little stronger. Heat up the gym a little more often. And then like Serge mentioned in the chat, Chelsea so bad side play one game and they said, nah, that's it. We have to call our
Batty
new
a
South
shield?
American
Batty
star.
Big baddie, boy.
Batty a shield, bro.
We need to call back our new South American star, Mendy from Dortmund, who has been doing really, really well this season. And there was a video of him crying, saying goodbye to his teammates. And, if you watch some highlights from him this season, he has been doing really well. So I feel like he will be a great addition for Chelsea's defensive line this season. And we'll see where it will take them. But yeah, overall, great game by Chelsea. Overall, calm game for them. And great 3 points for their 5 towards the Champions League.
It's a really important set of points to pick up. This could have easily have been a banana slip where they just get a draw, but I think the manager deserves his credit because typically they don't do well against them, but I think that team really pulled through for him, and they are looking a lot better. They're looking like a well-oiled machine. Not to say that under Maresca they weren't, but you could see the internal conflict. I feel like with bringing him in, everybody's, put down and shut up and just got into business, which is what I think this team really needed. And wow, that Crystal Palace team, it's looking real skimpy out there. Yeah, Serge, give us your final thoughts on that game.
I just want to point out where you said I think there was a lot of outside noise with Maresca on the team, especially him with all the comments that he was giving out to the press. I don't think that was doing the team any good. But it is what it is, man. History is history. The new coach, I think he's definitely implementing some interesting things. We're now playing with 2 pivots. Andre Santos is getting a lot of minutes now, and he's looking real good. He's giving Caicedo kind of freedom to kind of not have to worry too much about being the sole 6 and kind of having someone that can kind of, pick up that slack. And he definitely needs it. Still picking up yellow cards, though, so he needs to chill with all that.
Absolutely.
But Esteval is looking like a beast. Neto is kind of losing some form from what I was seeing. Him on the left side is not, him being in that position doesn't do him any justice. I think on the right, he's much more dangerous. I think Robert Sanchez is not getting the credit he deserves, because Mateta could have easily gotten the lead for Crystal Palace, I think, in like the 12th minute or something like that. He made a crazy save that kept us in the game.
It's his job.
Yeah. But nah, Mateta, he's a finisher, bro. And for him not to score that,
no,
it was great. But all in all, I'll take the 3 points. I didn't think Chelsea would come out with 3 points in this game. I thought we would gotten that draw. But Pedro's coming into form. Esteval is looking like a beast on that right wing. So I think our next few fixtures are looking pretty good for us. So we can definitely pick up some points.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
I was looking at those fixtures for fantasy and picking up Chelsea players right now. Looking tasty. All right, let's pivot to Aston Villa versus Newcastle. I think this
amazing game. Amazing game.
I would agree. I would totally agree. And I think Villa doing Villa things. Yeah, Coach Daniel. You seem emotional about it. Let's roll it. What do you think?
Give respect to my boy Unai Emery. Good evening.
Good evening.
Aston Villa, they play like such a machine. Like they throw everything on the field. Doesn't matter if they play home or away. You know, it's not easy to play away at Newcastle, and they play really really well. Even though Newcastle had most of the possession for most part, like you could tell like there wasn't really much danger because you know Jaime Martinez back there. But mainly because Newcastle, like again, we talked about it last week. They need to find a different system. If you don't have Bruno Guimaraes, you can't play a 4-3-3 because he's the player that creates chances in midfield. Royalton right now is not doing really well. Miley, the kid is, you know, he's a great box to box player, but he doesn't really create chances as like a Bruno Guimaraes, who's gonna be out until like mid February. Again, you have Wisa, you have the German dude, Ultimate. I feel like both of them should be playing together. Wisa on one side, Ultimate next to him. Change it to maybe a 4-4-2. If you see that 4-3 hasn't been working, change it up, change some things because they base the game so much on the wings, and it's easy for a defender for Nana to drift wide and help Cash out, or Tielemans to drift left and help Madsen out whenever they try to attack on down the line with Barnes or Gordon. But yeah, if they need to try it out, the two strikers together and see something different. And then just going back quickly to the Aston Villa side, Onana is their key player in the midfield. You know, with his length, with his strength, with his height, with his IQ, he's a machine in there. He was coming back from an injury. He basically played almost the whole game. Tielemans got injury, was a nasty ankle injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and he can, continue. And then, Emi Martinez doing his little shenanigans. There was a ball in the air. He caught it. He kind of hit another player. He was looking up who to pass the ball to, and then literally like an hour later, he falls down. He's like,
I saw a video of Conza looking at it. He's
Conza,
like, yo, pass the ball, pass the ball. He's like rolling his eyes and shit. He was like, what the hell?
Bruh, here we go again.
Shit.
South Americans and shenanigans. But hey, he needed to cool the game down because Newcastle was coming in hard during those minutes, so they needed to cool the game down. Watkins with a nice goal towards the end of the game that gave him the 2-0 lead, and yeah, good run. Look again, Aston Villa third place, 4 points away from first place. You gotta give so much credit to this team that, again, you look at it on paper, you're like, this team looks average, like really, really average, but they're doing really well.
Do y'all
Serge,
think that,
what are your thoughts on the game?
Do y'all think that Newcastle should probably dip into this transfer window right now, or do you think they have enough to kind of get over the edge?
Well, what is the edge? Because if you're in Newcastle, what are you aiming for? You want to be in the Champions League at the bare minimum, right? I think right now, as we speak, where are they? They're 9th place. They have 33 points on the board. It's a little rough right now. I mean, you hit 5th place, you're talking about what, Europa League, potentially, maybe Champions League, depending on how things follow. The difference between him and Chelsea, let's just see, it's 38 points that Chelsea has and Newcastle has 33, so that's a 5-point swing. You know how the Premier League is, that's
I think
doable.
They need some reinforcement. Yeah,
that's doable. But you know what it is? I think the other thing that they have to look at, what's tough when you dip into that market, is that how do you look as a manager when you have to go say, hey, I need another left mid, because my left mid that we're building around isn't Anthony Gordon. It's like Bukayo Saka. I don't know if they're all saving it for the World Cup. Like, I'm just a little confused.
yeah.
Some of these kids are just not firing. Now, I mean, if you look at Barnes is good in moments and little. He reminds me of a Bowen, where little spurts you see of magic, a little stardust, but it's not. In part, you're missing your linchpin, you're missing your captain, so that does something to you. And then you have to go back and think about, they lost Isak, who was so vital to connecting the play, and he was so athletic. He would bounce the ball to somebody and then just dart to the other side. You don't get that with Wisa. You get one or the other, right? I think even for them to dip into the market, it would be very hard for them financially. Well, I don't know where they go from here. I think they have to find a creative solution, and I think, maybe look at the bench. I mean, what does their bench look like?
I mean, they have a lot of injuries. I know Dan Burn was out has been out for a while now. Botman just came back from injury.
Yeah. I mean, Jacob Ramsey was a big pickup for them. I'm surprised he's not getting used as much.
Yeah.
Or Alenga needs to be used a little bit differently. Alenga was perfect for this game, I think, to get at Madsen, and I think it would have been just a really key moment for him to play, but he wasn't used as I thought he was going to be used. So
yeah, one win in the last 5. for the Geordies. Not looking
Yeah,
good.
yeah. A couple of those were very bad home results, and I just if that team is not getting results at home, that's
Scary
tough for them.
times. Yeah, scary times.
Scary times for them. They have to pivot real quick and turn it around real quick because it could get bad real quick. And they don't want to go a season without European football. You don't want to do it. It's it's putting a lot of pressure on your finances internally. So guys, I think it's time for us for Coach Daniel to take over the show. I'm gonna head out as you guys talk about Arsenal versus Man United, the big game of the weekend. Guys, what's going on? What's going on
Yeah.
here?
Yo, so
Daniel,
before Daniel starts, he did mention, earlier that, it was an ice storm this past weekend that hit the eastern part of the states. I don't know where everyone's listening from. So, I needed to pick up a few last minute items. So I went to my corner store here and they actually had something I haven't seen before. So I decided to try it out. So we're gonna do a little ASMR. My boy told me, yo, these are gonna keep you hydrated. It's gonna keep you well nourished.
Yeah.
And he said he had to pay like big import fees, manufactured and produced in North London. Let's see what this tastes like.
Yeah, watch out. Damn, don't drink it. Tracy's gonna be mad at you now that you drank that.
Damn, that quenched my thirst.
Yo, my boy said I'm drinking Gunner Tears, bro. Lord. Yo, bro, cancel the podcast. Cancel the podcast. It's over. It's over.
Cut.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done out here. Cut. It's over, bro. Let me get it out. I mean, disaster, bro. It's a disaster class. It's a disaster. I mean, I hate to be very embarrassing and say that, but wow. Where do you even start? Do you start with the captain? Do you start with the midfield that's just like giving the ball to the players? I don't even know. I remember when Henry got an assist from Steven Gerrard to score a goal. That's literally what it reminded me of. And I was like, What is Zubamendi doing? And the worst part is he's been one of our best players all season. I mean, it's a train wreck from them. And I just feel like, where is our attack? Our attack is as sterile as I've ever seen. I mean, I think Wenger could come into this team and do a better job of coaching that attack than Arteta can.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need bring back the king, bring back the real king of the ship. And
our starting 11 that we talked about in the last podcast, we're like, yo, who's the starting 9? Who's the striker? I told y'all Marino is a fucking striker for Arsenal, bro.
Yo,
he scored.
And you know what the crazy thing? It was a liability to put him in midfield. My boy was like Bambi slipping, bro. He's the one. He was slipping and sliding for that goal that Dorgu scored, I think. No, the one that Cunha scored. He was slipping and sliding.
Yeah,
bro.
He was.
Image of Marino slipping and sliding like Bambi is gonna live in my brain rent free if we don't win this league. That's all I'm saying. That my boy was, between him and Zubamendi, bro, they need to get their Spanish passports and go, bro. I'm so sorry. Like, they need to.
Damn.
They need to. What is that? What was that? It was a lot, guys. It was a lot. That's my rant. Y'all could take over. I'm going to be a little bit more calm after this. Don't worry. We'll be a little bit more calm. Y'all can take over. Coach Daniel, talk to them, please.
Literally, like you said, where to start, where to begin. I guess if we want to start, talk about the lineup, you can't really blame Arteta for the players that he put on. Hincapié, coming back from an injury, he put him starting as a left back, Timber, right back, Saka, Jesus up top, Jesus instead of Gyökeres. I don't know. I think there was really nothing wrong with the lineup. The beginning of the game, Arsenal had control, as they always do at the beginning, move the ball, possession, side-to-side passes. They got that lucky goal, Sandro Martinez own goal. And then it's like they had all this momentum, and then they decided to, I don't know if they decided to drop back or the United decided to start playing, but the things changed right after that first goal. United started pushing forward, and then, what do you call it? That first goal by Mbeumo, amazing pass by Subimendi. He's a great number 6, and he gave a great assist to the Manchester United player. He took out a Raya, sent him back to Spain with that little move, tapped it in, and great 1-1 goal for my boy Mbeumo. And then, you go towards the second half, and then, like I said last week, Gareth Dorgu, Heung-min Dorgu, Cristiano Dorgu. What a finish. What a finish by the ex-left back, now nice left winger. But before, there was a beautiful play between him and Bruno Fernandes. Nice give and go. Boom, 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 boom. He took that shot. Top beans. Raya just saw it. Whoop, hit the crossbar. Went over the line. Beautiful, beautiful golazo. Arteta said, enough of this. He pressed the panic button and he put in 4 subs. Eze for Odegaard, Ben White for Hincapié, push Timber to the left side, Merino for the almighty captain. Sorry, Eze for the almighty captain Odegaard, Merino for Zubimendi, and Gyökeres for Gabriel Jesus. Gyökeres, he just wanted to do. He came in and literally just decided to dance tango with Lisandro Martinez the whole game.
For that last play, bro,
I don't know, he was nowhere. Eze, same thing. Like I expected more from him. We've been wanting him to get more minutes, but my boy, he was MIA.
Lost.
Merino was the only one that came on and decided to do things. Ben White tried to do his runs down the wing on the right side, but again, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And then United looks so different, like so different compared to the Amorim era. They look more confident. They look like. You could tell like they were like, oh, we have this. We can win this game. Oh my God, the fans, Arsenal, almighty fans. Apparently the best stadium better than Santiago Bernabeu.
The Bernabeu's a toilet
bowl. What you mean? All quiet. Like, I don't know.
They were in shock, bro. PTSD. They know what's coming.
I felt I was in church listening to the stadium.
Yeah,
all quiet and nobody was talking. But
Nothing
then
wrong with a little prayer.
Corner. FC came in and Merino with literally like that goal reminded me of my U10 Division 7 Long Island Junior Soccer League goal. Just everybody just running, knee, hands, look at the peg, head, nose, boom. Nice goal by Merino. And then, the Brasileiro, Cunha, came on with a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful goal. I don't know why Saliba and Gabriel gave him so much space to look up, take a touch and shoot, but what a finish. And I loved that it was right after Arsenal score. And yeah, 3-2 win for the Devils. They haven't won a game there since I don't remember, like since Jesse Lingard era.
When he did his little dance.
Yeah, so again, I still think, so don't get me wrong, I still think Arsenal's gonna win it. I have a chat with some coaches and they call me the jinx guy because I don't know why, but it's true. Every time I say, no, don't worry, guys, Arsenal has this. As soon as I said Arsenal got this, boom, Cunha score. So now they tell me that I should tell them my prediction so they can bet to the opposite so they can win money.
Yeah, Coach Daniel, what's your address again? I'll pay you a visit real quick. I'll pay you a visit real quick. Make sure you never come out the house again and use your phone again.
I'm done.
That's crazy.
Daniel always says that Arsenal's gonna win when he has money on them, bro. Just stop betting on Arsenal, bro. That's the problem.
Sure.
Yo, Serge, you and I have a bet with Arsenal. Yeah, we got a little bet going, Serge.
What's the bet, bro?
I haven't forgotten. You forgot already?
I forgot, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah,
refresh my memory, bro. Refresh my memory.
Nah, so we said at the beginning of the season, if Chelsea gets more trophies than Arsenal, I gotta pay you 500. If Arsenal gets more trophies than Chelsea, you gotta pay me 500. I'm gonna look for the records. I'm gonna look for the receipts so you can see.
The receipts, bro. I remember
this season.
Well,
my boy just woke up. I hope those Arsenal tears keep you hydrated, bro.
It's looking good for me, bro. Trust me.
Now, we got one leg in the Carabao Cup, so in the final. So I don't know what you're talking about,
bro.
So.
We'll see what happens. But for me, looking at that game, I think mentality was the biggest, I guess, like theme that you can say about this game for me. Going to this game, I was like, Arsenal need to show that winning mentality. They need to show that they can get it done. They can get it over the line. First 20 minutes, everyone knew what was coming. They were taking control of the game, peppering some shots. Well, not even peppering shots. They were just doing what Arsenal do, just sideways, trying to get corners, trying to get their goals from that. I just think, once after that first own goal from the Butcher, Martinez, I think when Zubi gave that one goal, their heads went down, and then everything just went straight down the toilet after that. I think there was a lot of desperation from Arteta too, and you can see that with the 4 subs that came in. Yeah, it was just terrible, honestly. And then they got their goal from the set piece, on goal, Ballon d'Or coming through with that spectacular shot. Bruno Fernandes looking amazing, free flowing as a 10. He's definitely showing why he is the creme of the creme on top in terms of midfielders in the league. Right now, I wouldn't want to play Man United. They're in their form of their lives right now. Michael Carrick now is what?
Not the
2-0.
form of their lives.
2-0 versus Arteta. One win at Old Trafford, another at the Emirates. Kind of showing ball, kind of having that aura on the sidelines. My boy was just as calm as a cucumber, just with his hands behind his back while Arteta's fucking doing the fucking cha-cha slide. It was crazy, bro. It was real crazy to see the downfall. Arsenal has pictures coming up where they need to show and puff out their chest and see what they can get out of it.
Well, I think the fixtures are kind of friendly to Arsenal coming up. I think that these were the games where they had to show a little bit of chest, but on paper, those should be dominant games for them. In terms of like the first part of the game where they were on the ascendancy, this is something that we've seen consistently with them, that they don't have that killer punch that we always talk about. It wasn't there this week. It wasn't there at the end of the game. I think the killer punch comes at set pieces, which is a hindrance to the team because they really need to be firing on all cylinders for the business end of the season, and they're struggling so much for that. Arsenal gave Man United too much respect. At the end of the day, when you're the title favorites, when you're the team to beat, you have to play like you're the team to beat. I think Martin Odegaard gave that team too much respect. And for all the talk about him versus Bruno, it's not even a conversation. He really showed why it's not really a conversation. But that being said, Bruno was also very quiet during that game, in my opinion. He didn't have spectacular moments. I think there were other players that were facilitating the bigger moments. They have to come back and have a major response. The Arsenal media put out a post saying, "Oh, we're looking to bounce back in the Champions League against a nobody team." And I don't think they realize that as a team, where we need them to step up is in the Premier League consistently.
Yeah, because they're definitely putting a good run in the Champions League, but for some reason they decided to play a completely different ball in the Prem. So at least for now,
they should right now. Arsenal, they need to again, like I said last week and maybe the week before. I feel like Arteta, his body motion, it's putting too much stress on the players. Like you can feel it. Like they're afraid. They're afraid of dropping the bag. They're afraid of losing points. They're afraid of literally like the water bottle you have to bottle all over again.
It's just the pressure on their shoulders, bro. And like I kind of feel like when Arteta made those 4 subs, bro, that really rubbed off on the players. Like when you have a manager putting in 4 subs, it definitely in the back of your mind as a player, you're like, holy shit, like my coach got it wrong. Like he doesn't trust in who we have on the field. Like he went crazy with those subs.
Is that what it is?
No team in the world takes out their captain when they're losing. So that's what for me, Odegaard is a fraud.
I mean, who's your captain on your team, bro? I don't know any of your captains that are not frauds, bro.
What you mean?
I don't know, bro.
We have Almighty. We have the Almighty Avengers.
Yeah, those losers that haven't won anything in 2 years. Please, Almighty Avenger. We saw where that Galacticos era got us. You know,
okay.
we're just
repeating history. We're getting ready for Endgame. Right now, we're building.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're collecting the Infinity Stones.
That's what we're doing.
Arbeloa is gonna go at the end of it. It's like, you're so Arbeloa.
That, bro. We'll see about that. No, but I think going back to the substitutions that you guys were discussing, I think he needed to make a change. I mean, no manager. I mean, I don't think this game warranted Odegaard being taken out, only because the link-up play between him, Odegaard, and the striker is usually our bread and butter, right? Like, that's usually what you're used to seeing in the past years, so you expect that to come out. I think we saw today in that game why Eze is not starting. He is a liability. In that goal where Marino was on the floor, where Rice was Rice on the field? Rice was on the field, right?
Yeah,
Rice. I think Rice was the one that, you know what? Rice was the one that came in behind and tried to press him then. When Rice sweeps in and tries to press in, Odegaard covers him. Eze did not cover Odegaard. I mean, Eze did not cover Rice. And that showed. And they left that whole gap open, and then Cunha just used Gabriel as a post to make sure that Raya didn't see anything, and he scored. It's tough to take as a loss, you know, but I'm with it on Coach Daniel. I think we're still winning the league, and I think by March this will be done and dusted. I'm still saying it.
Damn.
Yeah, I think by March we'll be far ahead.
I don't know, bro. Unless Arteta starts switching some shit up, I don't see him.
Is City gonna get charged those 119 cases. Is that what you're saying, March? Because that's the only way he's gonna
Nah,
be
they're gonna.
done and dusted.
I think.
March.
I mean, we could look at the fixture list here. Let's take a look at the fixture list
Yeah,
here.
Newcastle.
I
Man
was gonna
City
say that 'cause
definitely has some tough games coming up for sure.
no, because Javi said Arsenal has some easy games. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know who
City
Arsenal.
definitely has
City
some
has a
tough
tougher
games.
run. Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
tougher run for
tougher for
sure.
because they got Tottenham, Newcastle, Liverpool. Those are tough cookies. Tottenham might pull another human song 90 minutes amazing.
I mean, this next stretch for so this is what I mean. I mean, on paper, Man
Let's
City
talk about
has.
City.
So yeah, specifically about City, their next fixtures in the Premier League. Game week 24 is Tottenham versus Man City. Historically, that's a tough game for Man City.
Especially
the
away.
following game, the following game is an EFL Cup, so we'll go over that. But after that, in the Prem, they played Liverpool versus Man City. That in between game between Newcastle and Man City, that's everything Newcastle has. Let's see if they get. I think we'll see something there, and he will have to use some of his A team to get over the line. And then, so what I'm saying is, after that, they play Liverpool. So it's not an easy run that he's coming across right now, just in terms of his own fixture. So there are chances there where they could slip up, right? Then he's got a little bit of a break when it comes to the Prem. He's got Fulham, and then after that, he's got Newcastle. So it goes back again to be a little bit more difficult. He's in a great run of form right now, so Leeds is not a layup team as much as we thought. But after that, I think in March it eases up for him finally. When it comes to Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and then he plays Crystal Palace, and then you got Chelsea again, and I think Chelsea is going to do them in no matter what.
For me, April 18th will be the game that will decide the league.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but even Fulham. I mean, they just went to Cottage, Fulham, and didn't they just have a shootout? It was like what 5-4 game, 5-3 game. That wasn't even an easy game for them.
I mean, and not to mention, April 18th will always be a good game no matter what.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it'll be a transition of the guard, but they also play Aston Villa the last game of the season. That's not an easy game, and they played Bournemouth before that. So those are not easy games.
Knowing Unai Emery, he will put the academy kids that game against City,
just so they can get.
So they can lose. Yeah, so they can get the W. Yeah. That's absolutely. That's the only way. That's the only way you can beat us.
Dibu Martinez is gonna put holes in his gloves in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that happening. But anyways, I think it'll be done and dusted sooner than we think. Really disappointing result. I think it's. I want to talk about something really quickly that Daniel said about the fans at the stadium, and I totally agree. As somebody who's watching from afar, I don't think they know how much of a disservice they're doing to their own players by not supporting, by not singing, by not chanting for them for 90 minutes. Like, it's almost disgraceful. Like, it's pathetic almost. And I think those fans also need to hold themselves accountable for the fact that, you're there also as part of the experience. And sure, your team is not doing what it needs to do, but you're part of this community. So you puff off your chest and you put your big boy pants on and you start cheering your team on. You be that 12th man that they actually need, and maybe we could see some type of change. So I'm a little disappointed in the fans that were there in stadium, and I would expect more. And I just hope that changes, because no team deserves to be getting booed like that when you're still first in the league. I know our history says that we're going to bottle it or whatever it says, but nah. That's not who this team is, and I think this team deserves a chance to have that opportunity to be successful. The fans there are robbing them of that, and you're robbing yourself of that experience, so shape up. All right, guys, so let's pivot a little bit to something a little bit more different. We had a couple of controversies going on this weekend. The Drogu handball, the Maguire handball, and the VAR decision at Wolves versus Man City. We're going to start with the Harry Maguire handball. Was it a handball for you guys, or was it just like brush it off?
Absolutely not. Can't hear you, Danny.
Natural position, not a penalty kick at all. Maguire was literally on his way to the ground. So naturally, you extend your arm to cushion your fall. And as he was doing the ball, barely, but it hit his hand. But again,
barely is wild.
But it's a natural position, and you can't really punish a defender for doing that, because how do you want him to fall down? You want him to fall down like this, like he's like a pharaoh from Egypt. We can't be doing that.
He has to break the fall.
Pushing your fall.
Problem here is that you said it yourself. when he was falling down, he extended. He extended his body shape. So his body shape was extended. If you look at the trajectory also, I think if this was outside the box, it would have been given as a free kick.
100%.
But because it was in the box, it'll never be given.
That's how.
Think
That's
the critical thing here is that Harry extends. Harry extends on the way down more than I think he would extend naturally, in my opinion. And I think obviously the final decision was that it was not a handball, but due to the nature of how far I feel he extended, it should have been given. So, we're a little bit of a disagreement here. You got two guys saying it's clear and obvious, no handball, no pen.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I
think
feel
so.
like
There's
I
no
feel
other
like
way
it
he
was
can fall. I mean, I don't see how else you're gonna break
Yeah,
that ball.
honestly.
yes, there is. There
Honestly,
100% is, and I'll tell you how.
he's not
You
on a split for a slide.
you slide to
can't
the
be
left.
on a split for a
No,
slide
bro.
like this.
But well, I guess that's no 100%. You can't be like that. But your position. So when you're defending, you're gonna fall down and slide. But he's extending his arm way too much. I feel like for his own natural ability. I think once you remember the Martin Odegaard one with Salah, and they said the same excuse, but the difference is that Martin Odegaard was within his frame where he was falling. He was not. He didn't.
That one was way different. He wasn't falling down at all. My dude was playing like basketball. That was like traveling.
Maybe. All right. What about the Drogu one? What did you guys feel about that one?
He never touched his hand.
I totally agree with that.
I think if it did touch any part of his arm was on his body anyway. So it's not like he was making his body larger than what it was. So I think that was perfectly fine.
I think with this one, I'm a little bit of a different opinion. It was 1000% not a handball. I think it was even inconclusive that it even touched his hand at all. Like, you can't really even tell from the video. I don't even know why you would even waste time on that personally. I think it's like it was just a fantastic finish from the kid. And I don't think we shouldn't even been having that conversation to begin with. So, all right. So Serge talked earlier on the stream about the Mosquera and Marmouche handball, where he felt he should have gotten a penalty. So, Serge, kind of guide us through that whole motion and why you feel like it was a penalty.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty because it was a good cutback from Marmouche in the box, and from what I remember, it was kind of like a cutback once the ball was bouncing, so it was kind of like around the chest area for Mosquera, and Mosquera, instead of when you're standing and defending like that, you can definitely have your hands behind your back, which typically is normal to see now, especially with all these calls in the box with handballs. But his hand was clearly out, making his body way larger. And I kind of feel like he intentionally did that on purpose too. You can kind of see him motioning towards the ball instead of having it in a natural position where maybe he can get away with it. But his hand was completely out and kind of intentionally trying to, touch the ball. So for me, it was a penalty all day.
Okay, let me pause you right there. So after all that happened, VAR agrees with you. And now the referee is asked to go to the monitor and reassess his decision. And so the referee goes to the monitor, reassesses his decision, and he makes the controversial call, his first game officiating, to say, no, my decision was correct. You guys are incorrect. The on-field decision stands.
Crazy.
Dan, how do you feel about that?
Kudos to the referee, especially a newbie, his first time refereeing a massive Premier League game. Not massive, but important Premier League game. Talking about the play, I feel that I don't know. It's one of those that can go either way. I can see some referees calling this a penalty, and I can see some don't like this game because, like, yes, he's running, and because he's running, his natural arm is extended and like on his motion towards the end line, but Marmadouche cuts back, and you see that Mosquera extends his arm not to do a handball, but to stop Marmadouche, because naturally, he's running forward. Marmadouche cuts back and goes to the other side, so Mosquera tries to extend his arm to stop Marmadouche, not to commit a handball, but I feel like by doing that motion, it becomes a natural bigger, and I do think it's a penalty kick. Just because, like, he went to grab Marmadouche. It's not like he was running and his hand didn't move at all. He extended a little longer. Like, if you watch it again, like I'm watching it right now, he extends his arm towards Marmadouche, and that's what I do think it is a penalty kick.
So it would have been a foul anyways, right? Because if he didn't have touched the ball, he would have hindered Marmouche even with the cutback, because from what you're saying, he intentionally tried to
Well,
stop Marmoush anyway.
it depends how
Marmoush would have reacted.
Yeah, how bad he would grab it and all of
Like
that.
would have flopped or something.
But again, I see why they didn't give it, but at the same time, it is controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it is the same as the Maguire one. So if that one's a pen, this one's a pen. If that one's not a pen, this is not a pen. So, at the end of the day, in my opinion, he made his body bigger. And it 1000% should have been a pen. I think it's wild that it wasn't called. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know how these refs are. And I will say though, I agree with Dan. Whether I think it's right or not, controversially, it is the right thing professionally to do if you think your on-field decision is correct. And that's what you want to go with. And you can sleep comfortably at night. That's what you go with. And I agree. Kudos to that ref for standing up to his seniors, which I'm sure was somebody who's got more experience than him.
Yeah.
And making that call, whether he's wrong or right, he could take his wounds and lick them later. But I will say that it showed a little bit of bravery, and that's one thing from the ref side that we want to see. And not always is VAR correct. So, because it's a lot of opinions, as we know.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. And I think, for me, it was also a handball. The state of the table. Where are we at now? You guys alluded to it a little bit. But give the footy fam your final thoughts after this game week, what the state of the table looks like, what you expect to see as a champion, your top four, and maybe even what dark horses in terms of that top four race.
Arsenal still think they're going to finish first. I don't know when. I don't think March. Maybe, May, April. I don't know when exactly, but it'll be a close one. It'll be a close one. But I do think Arsenal's going to finish first. I think the top three are going to stay exactly how they are. Literally the same position. Arsenal, City, Aston Villa. And then, you got what? You got United, Chelsea, Liverpool. 3 teams fighting for 2 Champions League spots. So I think United and Chelsea are going to get 4th and 5th and qualify for the Champions League. And then, you got the rest. And then
the rest of the best.
And then you got to talk about relegation. I think Burnley and Wolves for sure are going down. And it's between Nottingham Forest and West Ham. One of those 2 are going to go down. Leeds, I think they're good. Palace are okay. Tottenham, they'll be good. I still think West Ham will go down.
Chris, what are you thinking for the top 4 race? Is Chelsea going to get in there and throw their hat in the mix?
Chelsea is kind of up in the air at this moment in time, especially with a new manager. I do think that we have what it takes to be in that top 4 race. Honestly, I think City's going to end up winning the league this season. And to be honest, I think Arsenal might drop to 3rd place, and I think Aston Villa might overtake that 2nd place spot.
Damn. Clip.
That's how I'm feeling. I think Arsenal just has too much pressure coming from every competition. They're in the FA Cup, they're in the Carabao Cup, they're in Champions League. Now we're gonna see what Arsenal is made of in that Champions League and see if they even hold that number 1 spot. I just think games are gonna come fast and quick for them, and I just think it's gonna be too much for them, to be honest. We're already seeing signs of them with the mentality that they got. They're showing us that they're not ready to take it over the line. So I think Unai Emery would just, he's in the Europa Cup. I don't think there's too much pressure for him to win that. I think top 4 is what they're trying to get back to, so I think they'll probably end up in 2nd place. Chelsea, I think we'll end up in 4th. I think Manchester United right now are just riding that high. They'll probably fall off later on. I do want to say, though, that Fulham is kind of a dark horse in this situation. I think Fulham has a very underrated squad right now. They just got back their players from AFCON. What's his name? Uzeki from AC Milan that they picked up.
Yeah.
Bro,
And
he has been on a ride for Fulham. So I think Fulham, they might have enough to and I think they're getting like Oscar Ba from City. There's some rumors saying that they're going to pick him up. So Fulham with Silva as a manager, I think they might surprise some people. And in terms of relegation, Burnley and Wolves definitely are going to be relegated for sure. And to be honest, bro, I think Leeds are going to dry up. I think Leeds might end up going down. and Forest and West Ham might just get enough to stay in the league, but we'll see what happens.
All right, let's turn our attentions real quickly because we're running out of time here to the Champions League, and we got a couple of nice, tasty fixtures coming up, but also pivotal games for qualification. I just want to get real quickly, maybe for a quick second, what your summary is for this round of the Champions League. Dan, what do you think?
So you have 8 teams, 6 to 13, essentially with the same amount of points, 13, only 1 goal difference. Crazy day on Wednesday. We have 24 games, something like that, at the same time.
Feels like Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's literally so many games at 3 p.m. I don't know how Paramount is gonna do these. Like, are they gonna show all games? Are they gonna show a few games? I don't know, because it's gonna be literally insane.
Let me tell you something. Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, the mighty Micah Richards, they got it, bro. I promise you. They got it.
Drink some 5-hour energy because they're gonna be a long night for them.
For real.
You have a lot of key matches, but I feel like the main one will be PSG against Newcastle. Essentially, you win, you make it to the top 8. If you tie that game, you gotta depend on other results, and if you lose, you're out. And then like you talk about also Napoli and Chelsea. Napoli, they're definitely they're not doing well right now in the Serie A, and they've been dropping points lately. So I think Chelsea can easily go to Italy and catch the W, and they can qualify for the top 8.
Real quickly, Serge, give us your thoughts on this round. Is there any game that you're worried about? Any game that you're excited to see?
Well, I'm definitely excited to see, obviously, the Napoli and Chelsea game. I want to see how they play away in Italy, in Napoli. Napoli's kind of hit or miss. They aren't doing good in their domestic league, but I just really want to see how the manager kind of sets them up to see if we can get into that automatic qualification. Let's see. I'm just looking over these matchups. Yeah, I think the PSG one is also really important. I think that'll be a good game. Inter versus Dortmund, I think, is going to be an interesting game. PSG Newcastle should be fun, and like you said, there's a lot riding on that game for the PSG. I think that's the one there's going to be a lot of eyes on that one.
Guys, so listen, we're going to end the show there. I want to thank everybody who's listening. If you've listened this far, we really appreciate it. Episode number 4 in the books. Serge just got his Gooner tears on deck, ready to drink them. You're going to keep drinking them. I'm just letting you know. You're going to be drinking them a lot. Tears of joy soon. Don't worry.
Get my electrolytes in,
but hey, you got to stay hydrated. You know what I mean? Yeah. So thank you guys again for listening. And guys, say your goodbyes.
Hi, Serge.
But you know what? I do have to take that credit from Expressions off of YouTube. That song that's sticking in my head, bro, all day was Boom Boom, Pass the Butter and Buemo. Buemo. Bro, he killed that shit, man. I said boom, 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 pass the ball and Buemo. Buemo.
Let's go. Madrid. Keep an eye on Madrid. I forgot to mention Madrid. Dark horse in the Champions League.
Yeah, we've been saying that. They're my
Madrid
favorites.
is gonna make it to the semifinals at least.
They'll make it to the finals.
Bro, they're my favorites. They're one of my favorites. And I don't even like Madrid like that.
Almighty Junior is gonna carry this team. Mbappe can keep scoring 40 goals against Elche, Alaves, whatever.
Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed, all right?